Hello, my name is Noah, and I'm honored to be one of your bi-weekly storytellers and players here on this channel. My dear friend Kat and I have been working on combining our two homebrew worlds for about 6 to 8 months, and finally we are ready to start a campaign for both ourselves and our friends to adventure through. We are delighted to have you all come along with us on this journey every Saturday at 8 PM EST. Now, unlike several streams of live D&D play that are going around, we will be running a 2-table campaign on this channel. Every other week, Kat and I will exchange who is the storyteller and who is the player. That being said, we have 2 separate adventuring parties maneuvering with their own goals and own players in this large sandbox world that we've created. Their separate choices can and will affect the world as a whole, and thus can roll over into the opposite table. Occasionally, we will host a large round table event or chapter of our stories where we all get to sit down and we play together, meaning you all get the entertainment of watching Kat and I both tell the story and play it along with our friends. With that being said, I want to take the time to let you know that the genre of our game is very much a dark fantasy dystopian horror. Please keep that in mind as you follow along with us, because we want everyone safe here, and you can find a list of possible triggers on our About page. As we are a live play campaign, we will pretty much update the description of each VOD accordingly to note which triggers it may contain. However, we cannot state this during actual play because we will not know until it arises. With that being said, I would like to welcome you to the Starshine Sparrow. It is a large 2-story tavern and inn located in the diverse city of Belmare. It seems to be busy most times of the day, and the family that runs it can be seen rather frequently coming and going. It is made of beautifully carved wood, with golden embellishments, and scattered throughout the tavern at large you can find several vases of flowers that seem to change every day. The bar is vast and the tables are numerous, while the sound of jovial laughter and eloquent music can be heard scattered from passing bards. Connected to the back of it is a massive garden that is well kept, with arches of ivy and hundreds of flowering plants, some not native to the continent of Rederine's humid desert-like climate. The tavern itself has spacious rooms and finely crafted artisan alcohol, and an ever-filling bulletin board of jobs and odd tasks for would-be adventurers and travelers looking to make a quick coin. The work here is reputable, with many large names coming from other continents to snag a posting. As you wander inside, you find a gathering of people, all settled around an individual in finely crafted clothing of various shades of green, with adornments of leaves and 2 massive antlers affixed to their head. On the antlers are several strings holding charms, and small scrolls of rolled parchment, and flowers, and chrysalises of changing butterflies. They have dark skin more lovely than the night, with flecks of gold accenting their high cheekbones and full lips. And their lovely bright brown eyes look around tenderly. A smile that could light up the room in the dark radiates as they speak. Their hairs and locks, long and carefully gathered into a messy bun behind the antlers, with several gold-plated oaken leaves scattered here or there. Those gathered around are a mix of children, older individuals, and those that look as if they are passing through the tavern for the night. They seem to be telling a tale, one that I will pass on to you now, of the history of this lovely realm known as Lucifer. Not the history spun of lies uncovered 10 years ago, but the true one of sorrow, one of love, and one of prolonging life in the darkest of times. In the beginning, there was Stardust. It was a vast, sweeping void that spread off into various realms that were both created and inhabited by the gods. 2 of which, a brother and a sister, traveled from realm to realm, creating, destroying, or reveling in all that there was to offer. They carried on this way across centuries until growing weary and finally stumbling upon an empty expanse littered with debris. In this space of quiet potential, of lingering death, did they craft a realm of wonder. It was a place with star-littered skies, and 2 suns to guide, and 2 moons to still the tides. Then did Braxis reach forth and pull the 4 brightest stars from the sky surrounding them. They were the hearts of the 4 primordial lords that sprung into being. Quella, of the plane of water, who came to reign over magic and knowledge and patience. Pythos, of the plane of air, who came to reign over change and time and punishment. Uldrich, of the plane of earth, who came to reign over healing and growth and prosperity. And Kale, of the plane of fire, who came to reign over strength and justice and truth. And all was well, and all prospered, until the day the sister struck her brother, envy and jealousy finally overtaking her. Her broken heart was twisted and toyed with, and used as a pawn in the schemes of another, and the realm was plunged into war. For 324 years the gods waged war against one another, slowly tearing the world and its inhabitants apart. The sun Celestine was darkened, faded from existence, so that night finally truly fell over the land. The primordials were forced to act as the ground shook, and a foe long thought defeated was risen over the eve on the festival of reaping. The Smolder Ridge Mountains lit, and chaos overtook many in merely a few hours. Pythos, long suspecting of Quella's trickery, confronted her and was mortally wounded. He escaped, if only to warn his husband, Kale, that their fears had been realized, and to warn him that his father had come to take from him again. And in a single night, many things happened. Kale, in both a fit of rage and terror, departed to the mountains to face a foe that had once ripped his body asunder and taken not only his mother, but his sibling from him. There, the demon lord A crawled from the pits of a portal and gave the name to a well-known summit within the realm. There, the Flame King stood his ground again, and was felled trying to protect those most important to him. Pythos, still wounded, followed his husband with a faithful follower known as Teb, and two monk twins tasked with watching over Kale known as Uther and Malia. There he bargained with both a dear friend and partner, known simply to him as Mori, for the life of his husband. And there, as his general died protecting him, and Uther and Malia died alongside aiding Kale, did the Reaper make a deal with a devil of ice and snow, and a queen of death and shadow. There did his sanity break as he watched the only gold that he could ever covet taken from him in a moment. Uldrich, both worried and finally managing to escape, a group of adventurers tasked with keeping them safe, followed both their brothers, one of choice and one of blood. There they were followed by a close friend by the name of Markel, and one that had helped raise them by the name of Remy. There they witnessed the one they had viewed as both a sister and motherly figure stab Pythos through with a blade of ice, and the shadows of death come for their brother, one taken long ago when their mother was murdered and they sent to a prison of darkness. There weeping did they plant a seed of root to grow within the heart of the realm they had so deeply loved in order to protect it by crafting a prison for the one who had torn apart their family. Quella, already upon the summit, was found with the goddess Ilia and another that left as soon as the primordials appeared. There she watched the one she feared overcome by a plot older than her existence, and there she fought those she grew beside and watched the sister consume her brother. In a moment of malice and ego did she strike a deal with the one she'd been trying to outsmart since their crafting. She took everything and rewrote the history of existence with a pool of blood and the refracted illusions of her magic. There, she betrayed the goddess who had been eating her brother, and sealed her within the prison crafted by Uldrich for her. And for a moment, time stopped, and Pythos began to undo what had gone so terribly wrong. For he went against his nature, and instead trusted in those whom his husband loved more than himself. And in that moment, the deal was struck. He gave the answer to all to a mortal, and donned the mantle of obscured hatred by all in the realm. In that moment he watched his husband rise, the ground thunder as he was bound both to a dying realm and a fading memory, and watched as the demon's portal was locked with a crystalline key. Time started anew, Gale was driven to madness from the pain of the magic and the realization that he had forgotten something important. Something he could see, he could grasp, but he could not recognize. For 166 years have passed, and in that time many wars have been waged. Organizations of power have risen and fallen and thought to be defeated. Trusted friends, celestials, comrades have been judged, and the light of the fallen sun has been cast upon the world. The Arcane Circle and Eden have been driven to the point of near extinction, and the times over the past 10 years have fallen to an unsettling quiet. The world's cogs have started to turn. Long-lost villages and towns have begun to rebuild, and the continents at large have sprung into life. The charred places of the world have been overgrown by forests. The deserts scattered with wildlife and sunken treasures have been brought to the surface. The icy shelves have thawed, and new life has stretched far and wide. The current year is 1296, and today's date is Moon Day, Azu 9th. It has been 10 years since the primordial Quella was felled, imprisoned, and the memory of both Kale and the denizens of the realm have been restored. History books have begun to be corrected, rewritten, and old places of worship for the water primordial have been desecrated beyond measure. Our tales begin in two simple taverns. One here in Belmare. The other in a small village known as Emberfell. I am beyond excited for you to watch these two intertwining stories unfold. We'll see you Saturday.